First, I'm a marine biologist studying tiny deep-sea worms in ocean mud. I'm on my way to Antarctica right now. AMA. Edit. We're done. Thank you so much for talking with us. The Antarctic continental shelf is one of the most remote and understudied marine ecosystems on Earth. The seafloor here is teeming with invertebrate life. Worm species large and small, microscopic mollusks, sea spiders, sea stars, and sea cucumbers, all together on the vast muddy bottom. Most invertebrates in the Southern Ocean are unknown to science, and every expedition uncovers troves of new species and unique body types. Using new DNA sequencing technologies, scientists are also trying to piece together the unique evolutionary history of Antarctic ecosystems, and understand how polar invertebrates may be related to species in other ocean regions. Join me and a dream team of invertebrate taxonomists and evolutionary biologists searching for new species around eastern Antarctica. We'll start at 2 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time and answer your questions for the rest of the day, or until we get too tired. Real-time updates via WhatsApp throughout our journey. Link folks who answered questions today. Virginia. Running this AMA. All answers are from me unless signed with someone else's name. Holly, my best friend and a neat scientist, who thought of doing an AMA. Candace, Jake, Alejandro, Andy, Nick, Emily, Chandler, Jessica, Ken, Kevin, Kyle, Will, and Victoria. Scientist roster. Link proof. Here's my proof. If you have a free day, could you please travel to the ice wall and let us know if you can see the edge of the flat Earth, or if there is more land beyond? There are only unicorns beyond. What are your thoughts on hitting golf balls into the ocean? I know an amateur marine biologist that saved a whale that had a golf ball in its blowhole. The sea was angry that day. I knew it 22 minutes in. I knew we'd get one of these questions within a half hour of opening up this AMA. Woman facepalming the sea. Was angry that day, my friends. Which of the following deep-sea adventure movies released in 1989 was your favorite? The Abyss, Deep Star 6 or Leviathan? Hi, nobody awake yet. It's 7:22 am here. Is old enough to know those movies. Please don't downvote this answer. I asked again at 9:28 am and Andy answers for sure The Abyss. Nick agrees and is now getting lots of grief from Will now for having watched every sci-fi movie that remotely relates to Antarctica. My son wants to become a marine biologist. Any tips, suggestions, lessons learned? A great question. A few of us are awake and answering questions now. Here's what came to mind first. Get to the ocean if you're landlocked. And start volunteering, interning, or working there to get experience and figure out what you like. Ask researchers how you can get involved as early as you know you want to get involved. Learning research culture is helpful no matter what. There are scholarships and fellowships available. Don't get discouraged by financial stuff. We didn't all travel here linearly. Multiple of us took years off or started elsewhere. One of us was in HR for 10+ years. Another people did neuroscience and industry and pre-med first. Candace, Emily, Jacob, Virginia. This is the first time a U.S. research ship has been to this area for 22 years. There's much more U.S. infrastructure for this kind of research for ships that leave from Chile, and Antarctica is a lot closer to the southern tip of South America than New Zealand, so it's just easier to do stuff around there instead. They went to a different part of Antarctica. Our ship is going to East Antarctica, where no U.S. Gov-funded ship has been for a few decades. IKR. East to whom? This is from Virginia. Andy says it's called East and West Antarctica because there are two landmasses under all the ice that are connected. No ocean in there, just ice. But they're separated by a mountain range, and so things like drainage, etc. are different for the two areas. That's the basic idea. But there are a few different ways we collect the slop, depending on what people want. Some folks are interested in what's living on top. Some people need what's living down in the mud. So we have a few different types of slop grabbers. I'm totally stealing that name for our stuff. We haven't gotten there yet, and won't ever set foot on the continent, just on the ice if we're lucky. We're going around Antarctica for its ocean, not on Antarctica for the land. But good gracious, yes, it's incredible and weird and hard to go somewhere so remote. Space will have better internet than us and Holly and I, Virginia, and others left behind small kids to come here. but seeing things that nobody has ever seen ever in the history of the world before is part of the thrill of doing this kind of work. Excited to discover. Not excited to name it after us. Many of the species named after people are super problematic now, and we don't need that drama. Holly and Andy say the International Zoology Nomenclature Group prohibits naming species after yourself. We generally agree it feels arrogant, especially because it's so easy to see who went through the process of describing something. We've seen people sell off the rights to name something, which we have feelings about. We also know of someone who named a horrible parasite that causes diarrhea after someone they didn't like, which we have different feelings about. We don't like to think of trainees as assistants because we're all constantly learning more. That's the point of being a scientist. But yes, there are 5 teams on this expedition, each of which has a team leader and other people. Some of the trainees are PhD students, some are undergrads, some are postdocs, one is a curator at a museum, and I, Virginia, hi, I'm typing everything here. I'm a science communicator. My full-time job is to make stuff for the internet. Though I have a PhD in ecology. But I'm not doing science for this trip. I'm doing media. Science is best with a team.